Joining me today for another edition of Around the AJHL is Sherwood Park Crusaders General Manager Kyle Chase. Kyle, thanks for taking this time.
Thanks, Ev. Great talking to you.
Now, Kyle, you guys were placed first in all of Canada for a good chunk of this regular season. Now, what was that like for yourself and for your team getting that honors?
Well, I think it was, it was really nice as a feather in our cap to how well we constructed a team, how good a job the coaches did, how committed our players were for the last 3 years. Evan, obviously a great feather in our cap, but a lot of unfinished business, right?
Yeah, and for yourself, just falling short of that first championship in team history, how nice would that have been? You speak about feathers in the cap. That's sort of the ultimate feather there.
For sure, and I think it's one of those things where, I think we looked at it, Ev, and we think, well, what could have been, but you still have to go through the process, and there's still teams that are trying to beat you, and there's other teams that we have so much respect for that, you're going to see down the way. It wasn't going to be a layup against Drayton Valley, and obviously, Whitecourt and Spruce were two really good teams, and forget about Okotoks and Brooks and Drumheller and so many good teams this year that I think everybody had a chance. But yeah, we feel a little bit disappointed that we couldn't continue the run for sure.
Now, you guys had a pretty amazing group of 20-year-olds, that 99 born group on your team, being led by Arjun Atwal, obviously captain of your team, league MVP, 107 points. What else can you add, I guess, that people don't know already about this guy and really just about that 20-year-old group in general?
Well, I think Arjun is such a good leader that I think people might just look at the on-ice product, Evan, and say, okay, well, I get it. He's the MVP of the league and he leads the league in scoring, et cetera, et cetera. But when we have to buckle down and we're in tight situations, his voice for an undersized guy is booming in the room. And it, it speaks volumes to most captains, I think, that are, at next level, et cetera. Captains are guys that can say it, walk the walk, talk the talk, but they walk the walk as well. And I think Arjun is the epitome of that. He's a guy that, he's so responsible as a human being on and off the ice and his leadership is, it doesn't matter if they run into players that, people in the community, players that are affiliate players with us have that type of thing, where those guys, he's always outgoing and making them feel part of the group and part of our organization. And that leadership is just hard to find.
And I mean, it'll be tough trying to find somebody to fill in his shoes, but couple possible returnees who are younger. First of all, Carter Savoy and Michael Benning. I know both of them are committed to university, but how nice would it be getting those guys back, especially, with age on their side?
Oh my. Well, they would be unbelievable, first of all. There's not a lot left to prove for either player in our league. They're ready for the next step, and they've earned that right to be there. That would be some kind of blessing we'd have if those two fell out of the sky for us and just ended up in Sherwood Park. I don't see it happening. In saying that, for a couple of younger guys on the ice, Evan, you and I talked about it when we watched Lloyd and Sherwood Park play about, the two players, et cetera. And when your dad was there, I believe at the time. And I just think it's one of those things, Ev, where it's hard to ignore their leadership on the ice and off the ice. And they're such good people and they keep working hard at their craft. And, it'd be easy for them to be, cocky and all those other things that they're not. And it's just a testament to, upbringing and their character.
Now, obviously, both of them are up for the NHL draft coming up whenever that may be this summer. What can you tell people about their play on the ice, not just them off the ice?
Well, Michael, to start with, is a player that, he's so good offensively, and he has just such a creative mind. And he's when he started with us, he was a bit of a riverboat gambler up the ice, and I'll take my chances at one end and give up a few at the other end. But he's changed that drastically, and he's going to become such a good defender now. And and he gets in lanes and knows how to use his stick, and way tougher than people think. Like, he's a gritty little player that he's not tiny, but he's an undersized D-man, but he's got so much skill, and he can make that 6-foot bump pass, and he can quarterback anybody's power play. And, so from our perspective with Mike, sky's the limit for Mike, right? And Carter, well, I think people look at it, and, I tested this to a home run hitter. If the guy only has a 225 average and he hits 50 home runs, we start every game 1-0. And people are like, what do you mean? Well, Carter Savoy scores every game. So you need 2 to beat us. And that's how it is. And you can't ignore that. So you can look at it and say, well, if our goalie's real sharp tonight and he only lets in 1 goal, we're going to win, because Savvy's going to get 1 for sure. Right? And you just think about what I'm saying, and it's the reality of it, right? It's hard to replace 1-0 when the game starts. And, and I'm not saying we score first every time, but you get my point, right? You're going to need 2 to beat us, because he's going to score. And he's such a skilled player, and he's smart, and he passes the puck probably better than anybody on our team. And him and Mike are probably neck and neck in the passing side of it. And he sees the ice so well, and he's sneaky tough too. And he can play at both ends of the rink. And he started playing on our PK, a little bit out before Christmas, I guess, but mostly after. We got our best players on the ice. One thing our coaches do really well is get our best players, or our most effective players, on the ice as much as possible. And, you can go down 20 minutes downtown to watch the blue and orange team play. They do the same thing. Their best players play a lot, and that's hockey now. And, our other guys get the opportunities when games are, a little more at far reach, but when tight games, we play our best guys because we're trying to win, and that's the business we're in.
Yeah, and I mean, Denver has a couple pretty gifted, pretty special guys coming there for the future. Kyle, I appreciate you taking this time. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Evan. Take good care.